I just went to the grocery store and I want to show you what I got. I got some turkey. Actually, I got 200 grams of turkey. It's about the size of the palm of my hand. And this cost me almost $13.
Okay, Canadians, if you only had $50 to last you one full week, what are you buying from the grocery store? What meals are you making? And no, I don't want oatmeal or tuna, okay? What are you buying? Help!
I'm a Canadian dad, and I'm in the grocery store right now. I'm going to show you how I feed my family of 5 for under 20 bucks. Check it out.
My kids, the oldest is 9 and the youngest is 1, and all in between all of them, they always ask me if I have money for something.
This is downtown Toronto, a food bank at a church. Look at this lineup.
Okay, so these are just a few of the conversations happening around the cost of groceries in Canada right now. And when you put all of these stories together, you start to see something bigger. It starts with a grocery receipt. Someone looks at what they bought and wonders how a few basic items became so expensive. Then you have people asking how they would feed themselves for an entire week with only $50. Then there are families talking about cutting things from their grocery lists and parents worrying about whether they have enough money. And eventually we hear from people who are turning to food programs and food banks because groceries have become difficult to afford. So today we're going to listen to what these Canadians are saying and follow that story from the grocery store all the way to the food bank. But before we get into it, thank you so much for watching, subscribing, commenting, and supporting this channel. We're working toward 1,000 subscribers, and if you enjoy conversations about what Canadians are experiencing, the cost of living, everyday life, and the things people are talking about online, please subscribe and help us grow this community. Now let's get into it.
The Canadian government is giving out rebates for groceries, and I don't think that this is them being kind or nice or helping us. I think that this is criminal. Any country that needs to give their citizens rebates because of food prices being too high, there is a serious problem. So I just went to the grocery store and I want to show you what I got. I got some turkey. Actually, I got 200 grams of turkey. It's about the size of the palm of my hand. And this cost me almost $13. Guys, I think this is enough for 3 sandwiches. $13 for some turkey. And this is why they're giving out grocery rebates. But the funny thing is that if you make too much money, you don't get a grocery rebate. Because my husband and I make too much money, even though we have 3 kids, even though we pay our taxes, even though we're still paying these prices for groceries, and our groceries are also unaffordable. No grocery rebate for us. I don't even want to live in the country that gives grocery rebates. To be honest with you, I don't want anything from the government. I can take care of my own. So don't give me a grocery rebate, but let me out of this damn country because it's not it. Canada is not for my family. Sorry.
Okay, $13 for enough turkey to make roughly 3 sandwiches is wild. And that's the thing about grocery prices. It's not always one huge purchase. It's all these little prices adding up until you look at your receipt and think, wait, how did I spend that much?
Is food really as expensive in the Arctic Circle as people say it is? Let's go find out. 2 liters of chalky milk was just shy of 15 bucks, and the liter jugs were about 9. The various Cracker Barrel bags of shredded cheese were all 15 bucks each. 4 previously frozen chicken breasts will set you back $42. In case you ever wondered why there's so few fat people up north, it's because the cookies are 13 bucks each. 10-pack of iced tea juice boxes will set you back $12.29. Apple juice is even more outrageous at 24 bucks for a 4 liter. Cranberry juice is not much better at 14 bucks for a 2. Honestly, the craziest thing out of all of it is a 24-pack of no-name bottled water was 32 bucks, bud. Doing their part to combat obesity again, we got $9.49 for a 2 liter of Coke. Moving on to produce, we got $9.49 for a bag of onions, a bag of celery stalks for $11.50. You gotta take out a second mortgage on your house and sell your firstborn for a bag of jalapenos because they're $20.19. Nobody's getting their potassium up here because bananas are $9.29. And good luck to all the swinger couples up here because small pineapples tip the scales at $11.30 each. Now, I wasn't about to walk around their store for an hour taking pictures without buying something to support the local community, so I grabbed a fancy Lunchable, some banana chips, and a couple apples. Throw in a couple reusable grocery bags for a souvenir, and the total on that was $18. $15. I also grabbed a 3-piece chicken meal for $20.99. All in all, paid about $40 for some heartburn and a couple farts.
If you're telling people to live within their means, you need to realize that that only applies to a small portion of the population. If you're making about $30,000 to $40,000 a year, if even that, and you're living paycheck to paycheck, that is because your paycheck is only paying for the basic necessities of life, and just barely. There's no room for savings. There's no room for going out, no room to enjoy your life. You're barely getting by. But if you're making $100,000, $200,000 a year, and you're still living paycheck to paycheck, then yes, maybe you're living outside of your means. Maybe you should stop going out so much. Maybe you should downsize and stuff like that. But if you're living a modest life, like you have an apartment, you have a basic car, you have maybe a house, a modest house, and you're still barely getting by on your paycheck, on your salary, then your employer should be paying you more. They are not paying you enough, and they know it.
And this takes the story beyond a grocery store, because now we're talking about the relationship between income and basic necessities. He is making a distinction between someone who earns a higher income but spends beyond their means, and someone whose income is already being consumed by basic needs. And that raises another question. When someone's entire paycheck is going toward necessities, how much room is there really to cut back? What do you think?
Go when I have money, Mom, I can help you. And that's not things kids should be worried about.
Tiana Beaton says at the grocery store lately, she braces for sticker shock.
Panicked, stressed, worried. My kids, the oldest is 9 and the youngest is 1, and all in between all of them, they always ask me if I have money for something.
It's Food Rescue Day at the Chalmers Neighborhood Renewal Corporation in Elmwood. Every week, they offer donated and leftover food from big distributors. Supplies that would otherwise end up in the landfill. Executive Director Leilani Esteban Villarba says demand for all of their food programs has soared. One has tripled since the spring.
It's sad because it means that there's a lot of people looking for food and who can't afford groceries.
Nonprofit and social enterprise Community Helpers Unite helps collect the food and redirect it to more than 40 agencies across Winnipeg. Brandy Bobier is the CEO.
I'm surprised that there is so much need citywide. People who have never accessed a food bank before are looking to food banks just to keep at baseline. And it's outrageous.
Manitoba's food prices increased by 5% year over year as of June, the second highest in Canada.
It breaks my heart.
She says people here are already making a lot of sacrifices, but programs like these make sure they don't go without a meal.
Now the story becomes more personal. We're hearing about a mother whose children are asking whether she has money, and we're hearing from organizations seeing more people looking for food assistance. And one detail really stands out. People who had never accessed food banks before are now using them just to maintain the basics. So the conversation has moved from what people are buying to how people are managing to eat. Have you noticed more people around you talking about food prices or needing to cut back?
So you think this is Uganda? No, it's not. This is downtown Toronto, a food bank at a church. Look at this lineup. While we're giving billions of dollars away to everyone, we have a lineup at the food bank. And there's kids. Look at this. Unbelievable. 2026. And we have lineups at the food bank.
And this is where the conversation becomes much bigger than one expensive grocery trip. When people are lining up at food banks, we're talking about basic affordability, not luxury. What do you think this says about the cost of living in Canada right now? And if you're enjoying this conversation, please subscribe and help us grow this community. Every bit of support helps. Now let's look at some of the other perspectives Canadians are sharing.
Can somebody explain this bullshit to me? You're telling me this steak from Australia shipped halfway across the planet is selling for $26 a kilogram. But Alberta beef, raised right here in Canada, is $70 a kilogram. How is food being flown across the world cheaper than food produced in our own backyard? Why are we paying more for Canadian beef than imported beef? And how many times have the Liberals told us to buy Canadian? It's near impossible to. Some people will tell you that's just how the market works. Sure, but if that's the case, then we should be asking why our market makes it impossible for Canadian producers to compete in Canada, because something clearly isn't adding up. If we want a strong country, shouldn't we make it easier to produce food here instead of relying more on other people? our priority should be making sure Canadian farmers can compete again and put affordable Canadian food on Canadian tables by, you guessed it, lowering taxes and removing the red tape. Canada should be the easiest place in the world to buy Canadian beef.
Good day, my friends. See that? These have been on sale for 99 cents for God knows how long. Here's the Canadian ones. Small, tired looking, more expensive. This is why we don't buy Canadian.
One conspiracy I have that I would love for somebody to prove me wrong is that I really believe that going to the grocery store has become just as expensive as eating out every single night. Because that used to be the message. Oh, you gotta save money, you gotta go to the grocery store. Have you been to the grocery store? As soon as you walk in there, you've spent $87. There is no savings to be had. And I really feel like they've designed.
Okay, we just spent $50 on groceries for one dinner in Victoria, BC, a steak and some vegetables for a salad. One meal, $50. And the lettuce, well, that was free. My fiance's mom grows it in her garden, so that's $50, and the salad's main ingredient didn't even cost us anything. And before you say I'm exaggerating, while we were there, I saw a freaking watermelon that was $16. I took a picture and ran out of there with the evidence, but it's just a regular grocery store, regular city. This is just what food costs here now. In Panama, this whole haul would have literally been a fraction of that. So yeah, that's why I left.
And after listening to all of these people, there's one thing that really stands out. Everyone's experience is a little different. One person is shocked by the price of meat. Another is trying to figure out how to make $50 last a week. Someone else is questioning whether their income is enough for their basic needs. Parents are talking about their children noticing money worries. And food organizations are describing more people looking for help. Then we see the grocery store comparisons, the attempts to find cheaper options, and the very different prices people can face depending on where they live. So maybe the bigger story isn't just that groceries are expensive, it's that people are having to think much more carefully about something they need every single day. And that's why I wanted to bring all of these conversations together, not to tell you what to think, or to blame one person or one group, but simply to show you what people are saying and what they're experiencing. Because these are real conversations happening across Canada. And now I want to hear from you. How have grocery prices changed the way you shop, cook, or feed your family? Have you started buying different foods, shopping at different stores, cutting things from your grocery list? Or maybe you haven't noticed much of a difference at all? Tell me what your experience has been in the comments. And if you made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel. And thank you to everyone who has already subscribed. We're working toward 1,000 subscribers, so if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, like this video, and share it with someone who might relate to this conversation. We're building a community where we can talk about what people are actually experiencing in Canada, the cost of living, everyday life, and the conversations happening around us. So thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.